The real stressor is our future. So the moment I drop the future, the stressor is gone automatically. I'm not doing anything. I'm just bringing my mind to current situation. Okay, if this is the situation, let me handle it. The law of meditation is you become that which you meditate on. So if I am meditating for peace, the idea is that I am not at peace. So what are you meditating on? Not at peace. And what happens to you? You become more and more miserable if you do meditation for peace. So we have to understand the principles correctly before we jump into anything.
So I mean, so let's double click a little bit more into that, right? So what does America stress about? So America stresses about the stock value of Nvidia stock, right? America stresses about the future of their child, whether they will go to Harvard or Stanford or Yale or whatever. America does stress about, hey, will there is there a planned heart attack in the future or not, right? America stresses about relationships, right? With the interrelationship between people, right? So you're saying all of those problems are gone if we just, a like live in the moment, and also, as a corollary to living in the moment, you start connecting with self.
So I'm not saying your problems are gone. Your approach to life is changed. Problems are always there. So our approach to problem is changing. So there is a huge difference. Problem going away and my approach to the problem is changing. So when my approach to my problem is changing, I become more constructive. So if the problems have to be gone, with the moment I'm thinking problem should be gone, I'm already finding the escape route. So this is not an escape route. This is all about facing it. So there is a flight and fight response, right? That we talk about in amygdala when it comes to. So here in life, we are always choosing a fight mode. The flight mode, sometimes we will need to adopt again. That depends on the discernment of the situation. If a mosquito is biting me, I can squat it. If a big dog is chasing me, then I have to think about other means. I cannot squat it. So there is a certain discernment has to be there, correct? So there's no single rule applies to every situation. If anyone says this is the single most rule, the universal principle, then there is a problem, because this is very dynamic. Life is very dynamic. Not a single approach will fix it. So now the discernment of the mind, when it develops, that clarity, discernment develops. Now we act very in all the dynamics we understand about the situation, and then we act accordingly. When the discernment is there, not there, that is the real problem.
So is there no, this is great, and I want to take the conversation forward, right? And now I want to focus on how do you connect with the self, right? I mean, how do you start living in the future? I mean, a lot of the stuff you talked about, I think, unlike a light bulb switch where we can walk to that switch and turn it on or turn it off, and you can see the thing, right? Human emotions are not like that, right? I mean, this is not under our control, right? So do you want to share some techniques with the audience on how do you firstly, can this all be made into a light bulb switch, that you can switch it on and whenever you feel like? A technique for that?
Yeah. See, See, I'll tell you, I mean, before we jump into the techniques, the important thing is attitude, correct? Uh, so, I mean, I always ask this question to everyone. So, if I'm in a dark room, I find the light switch. Will I turn on the light switch? Or will I say, darkness, please go away, then I'll turn on the switch? It's a common sense, correct? I just turn on the switch, the darkness in the room goes away. But especially when it comes to this esoteric knowledge and ideas, they think before I can connect to the self, I must become pure. This idea of purity is what destroyed the whole concept of connecting with the self, right? If the darkness is synonymous to impurity and the light is purity, what am I doing? I'm just turning on the switch. I'm not thinking about the darkness to go away before I can turn on the switch, right? The same thing here. In whatever the state of mind I am in whatever the state it is, pure or impure, is pure is only relative. There's nothing called pure, right? So whatever the state I am in, if by thought only we are manifesting, by thought only we are producing everything, right? By thought only we are creating problems. When I'm looking at a problem through thought, I'm kind of magnifying it. So this tool which is given to us, with the same tool, I can say, now my mind is connected to that higher essence. And you wait. In this waiting, you sort of become a witness to that essence. That is a simple technique. How difficult it is. It's not so difficult. A lot of people, and we call that meditation, right? Meditation is not about focus, concentration, or any of that sort. Meditation is all about just waiting for that to what should I say, reveal by itself. But you are kind of given the direction to the mind. Oh, I cannot meditate, I'm thinking. So I always ask, should my heart stop when I'm meditating? No, right? Then why should my mind stop? I don't see any reason why it should stop. But it will find its way. Just like when I go to sleep, sleep happens, right? I don't go to sleep, sleep happens. So because now we have given the direction to that mind that, okay, now I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. It happens. Same thing here. When you give the direction to the mind, I'm waiting for that essence to connect with, it reveals by itself. It happens by itself. We don't have to do, there's no effort required, right? So the reason we are failing because we have this grandized projections of what it should be. And some people even say, when I meditate, so I have become completely thoughtless. I don't get any thoughts. It's a blatant lie. If mind is there, it has there for you to think. If heart is there, it is there to pump the blood. There is then I ask, okay, what is the benefit if I stop thinking? Absolutely no benefit. I don't see any benefits. So the evolution of the mind is in its thinking. But now I have given a direction, a higher direction to it. It will bring that essence back to my life. So now with my boat, which is rocking all the time, suddenly is not waving that much. It is stable. So these are all simple concepts, simple ideas. Anyone can do it from all religious backgrounds, from all faiths, all beliefs and disbeliefs, right? Anyone can do it. So this is nothing to do with anything. It's not, what should I say? subscribing to any thought process here, any philosophy here. It's a very simple inner connection you're developing. And through that, you go to your mandirs, your masjids, your churches, but carry it. You carry it to your office. You carry it to your family. You carry it to your friends. So now, how serene and use the word tranquility. How tranquil you are. The moment you step in somewhere, the people want to receive you, but just by looking at your condition. That should be the way of life. So the meditation technique is that. And then we have this idea, the consciousness, memory of the consciousness. All our emotional memory is gathered and which is distorting our conscious states. Suppose if I like a person, even when the person is not in front of me, by just thinking about the person, I feel happy. If I don't like a person, just by thinking about that person, I feel unhappy. I feel agitated, irritated, angry. Correct? So these are the impressions we are carrying. If I can remove these impressions, when I think about that person, I'm neutral. I'm not carrying the baggage, my past interactions with that person. So see how free I become from my past. When I become free from my past, my future projections also change. My patterns in life change. If one observes, they have the same pattern from their childhood to until their death. The same patterns are repeating in their life. Why? Because of these impressions are pretty much governing their lives. Their thought process, their choices, every time it's the pattern. Like I said in the beginning, right? Always bad things happen to me, that's a pattern. That pattern is happening to you because you have created that impression. And these impressions are also called in Indian literature karma. So the karma is always haunting you. And conveniently we are told that the karma cannot be cleaned. So we accepted it. But these spiritual sciences tell you that it can be cleaned. Right? So when it becomes clean, then things will change. Then one might ask, what is the role of God? So the God is there, that is why we are alive. Is it not enough? Right? The inner essence, the energy, the Chaitanya Shakti, we call it. The power of consciousness is because of God. So the power is already bestowed on you, on everyone. No one is devoid of it. Now, whether I want to use it for my ennoblement or whether I want to use it for my own destruction, it's a choice. Right? So the cleaning process helps a lot, which is one of the techniques we teach for the heartfulness students. And then prayer, of course. The prayer is to connect with this essence to, help you in your approach to life. So you're invoking that essence within you and then you go to bed. So you attend to all your life as you're doing today. You attend to all your beliefs as you're doing today. Nothing has to be changed. Only the approach towards life has to be changed.
So I know this is a short podcast, and I know you are going deep into the which is deeper, Pacific or Atlantic Ocean? I think there's the inner trains in Atlantic, so we'll pick Atlantic. So you're going to the depths of Atlantic Ocean, right? And I don't think we can do it in an hour-long podcast, right? So
Yes.
tell me about the organization, because I think I want the audience to connect to the organization as a post facto event to this particular podcast.
Yes. Like I said, heartfulness is a practice based system and it has certain techniques and methods for all, for us to practice from all phases of life. Everyone can practice and take the benefit out of this practice. Heartfulness is not a philosophy. It's a practice. So a practice, as I said, methods, adopt them, put them into your regular curriculum, and uh, see how your life is changing after you adopt these techniques. So uh, you are the judge, you are the observer, you are the experimenter, you are the result, right? So that's all heartfulness is. Of course, like an organization, it has an administrative head we call the teacher or the spiritual teacher, who is guiding us in this techniques and providing guidance as we are progressing in the practice. And so the role of the guide is to provide that guidance and teaching as in how to correct myself in the practice method. So this doesn't it does not indulge into your life. It doesn't tell you what you should do, what you should not do. My teacher says even the dog knows what it should do and should not do. When the owner walks in, if it is comes running, wagging its tail, it's happy. Otherwise, it hides under the bed. That means it has done something. It's probably tore the paper or the pillow. So even the dog knows when it is doing the right thing or wrong thing. So we all know what is right, what is wrong. Nobody has to tell us, right? So it doesn't get involved in your life. It only gave you these methods, practice, do it, and make use of it and see if it is working for you, continue it. So it's been there for last 150 years. And now we are at the fourth teacher in heartfulness. His name is Kamlesh Patel. We call him Daji. Daji meaning in Gujarat, uncle. So, and he is our current teacher. And so that's about it from the organization.
So just for the audience, right? So it is not a religious belief system. It is not, I think you previously outlined, meditation and spirituality doesn't have a religious manifestation. It kind of applies. It transcends all religions, and so it's not you're not professing any particular religious thought. You just the act of connecting to yourself is is meditation or spirituality.
You can call it both. Spirit is the Atman, the
Right.
soul within, right? So it's an embodied soul. It's always within. But we conveniently, because our approach to his external life, we kind of make this separate entity, Paramatman, which is away from us. But it is always with us.
So yeah, I mean, so that's the point, right? I mean, that's a universal phenomenon. It's not a particular phenomenon, right? And Daji and you guys help people with the mission of connecting with themselves. So just for the audience, I wanna recap the discussion so far. So we paraphrased a problem. We started talking about how that problem manifests. Then we talked about some of the corollaries to that problem or how those mob problems uh, come about. Then we talked about sort of the solution. We also talked about what looks like a solution but not is not a solution, right? Like thinking about meditation as a pill, a solution pill for real life problems versus taking the problem as it is and working through them in a very different perspective and different mind space. Then we we dug deeper into where can we take this problem statement into being a solution statement. So where we are sitting at right now is okay, connecting to oneself is the solution, right? And we have a fantastic organization at hand who can help you do this. Um, so let's get into some of the summarization pieces of this conversations, right? So Shrikant, talk to the audience about. I think we spoke at a little bit of an abstract level. Can you give us some tactical one, two, three type thingies to help people be at a better place in terms of quote unquote stress?
Right. So first, number one is feel confident about yourself. And you know that this inner help is there, higher help is there. And we just need to tap into that help. Bring your mind to the present. What will happen in the future will happen. But should I not plan for my future? Of course. Plan it to an extent you have control over it. We cannot control all the parameters. So, with the clarity of the mind, with the current situation, whatever is causing the stressors, identify it, identify them first, and make a plan how you can address that. And use meditation as a tool to bring your mind to the present, and then take a very calculative decision about your problems. And that's all it takes for us to kind of overcome stress. And as far as peace is concerned, peace is, we don't know what is peace. Just because we don't know what peace is, our idea of peace is escaping from the current state of mind. That is what peace is. Oh, I'm having a lot of thoughts. People complain, right? What is the problem with your thoughts? Because I don't like my thoughts. Why am I not liking my thoughts? Because it is projecting something harmful, negative in the future. So if I like something, will I say, oh, I'm having a lot of thoughts? I enjoy those thoughts. That's right. I don't complain about it. So peace is our idea of escaping from these thoughts. But that is not peace. Because we don't know peace, peace is denied for human beings. You know, I'm not supposed to say this because we are talking about come to us and I will have peace. That's only marketing. Let me be blunt and honest and candid about it. Correct? So peace is denied. So what I should can change is only my approach and attitude towards this life, and make use of these tools to strengthen yourself. And then enjoy your life and bring that happiness. And it's a mixture. It's all flavors will be there in life. So cherish life in all with all these flavors.
So that
That's put it.
so that's like you gave us very good template. So that's the template for level 1 solution of stress in life. Okay.
Yeah.
So my biggest takeaway from that point you made is you don't use meditate to solve the problem. You just use meditate to come to the center and present, right? You solve the problem in a different matrix by saying, okay, let's paraphrase the problem. But you can't paraphrase the problem if you're living in the future and you're escaping the present by looking for these tools or techniques like a vacation or a religious point in on planet Earth where you can go and partake in some kind of special religious ceremony by the bank of a river or a hallowed ground of some past saint or yada yada yada. So none of those things actually help. So that's like escaping, or you want to go to a club and drink a couple of bottles of your favorite beverage. None of that really helps. It's just what helps is use meditation to center, come into present tense, then paraphrase your problem. If needed, write it down. And then because you're in the present, you will be able to solve it. Uh, this thing, because mind itself is such a powerful giver or tool, right? Pretty simple, huh?
Yes, it's simple. It's easy. Like we're struggling. We're not turning on the switch because we're waiting for the darkness to go away.
Oh man, that's so. I'm surprised it is so simple, right? I feel like you just destroyed a multi-trillion dollar set of industries, by saying it's pretty simple, right? It seemed like
Right.
sit at home and just basically try to center yourself on present tense, huh?
Yeah. And I'll give you one more simple technique for peace. Meditation is to connect with the inner self. But if you want really peace of mind, the stress to go away, count 1 to 100. If 100 is not enough, count till 1,000. You don't need a guru or a system or a method.
And if 1,000 is not enough,
Go. Go more.
No, those are wonderful thoughts. So, Srikanth, thank you so much. We have had such a wonderful time. We'll love to have you back again. So those are beautiful thoughts. I think for the audience, I would like to stress that there are tools and there are folks in our environment, such as Srikanth, who lives down in Orlando, and many others. So do DM us privately, and these folks are not looking for any financial remuneration, etc., to help. And if you have, if you need help, these guys are standing by to help. Um,
Yes. So all teaching and practice is free of cost.
Too good to be true. But hey, listen, yeah, I mean, if too good to be true, you should investigate it and then see if this is something for you. But certainly investigate.
Yeah.
So thank you, Shrikant. Thank you for being on the show with us, and I'm sure the audience will love to have you back again. And we will have a few more series of discussions with you around this. I think manifestation of stress as one of the biggest culprits in whatever we see in today's 2025 world um, is is certainly there. And I think we need to solve through some of the more simplistic techniques which you just outlined. So thank you so much for being here.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me.